Hi there, I'm John Spade, and this is the egg for Thursday, September 30th, 2010. My soapbox is back. I've been contemplating the egg for the last couple of days. I think I go through this every couple of weeks where I'm doing it and I'm not really sure and if I'm doing it right. And then, of course, I start dealing with expectations and what my expectations are. And, of course, those people that view the egg regularly and give me feedback. So I kind of stalled the last couple of days, and to make this work for me, and I sort of made this promise to myself that the egg's going to be done in one take. It's going to be done in the moment when I'm feeling what it is I want to talk about, and that if I'm not feeling strong about what I'm putting out, then I'm not going to put it out. So literally 2 days, 2 eggs, and they're trash. The moment's gone, so I don't want to rehash it. I just, I want to make sure that I'm always staying current and talking about stuff that I think is relevant and that is, interesting enough. So today, and, sometimes this stuff just falls into my lap, and I want to talk about prostitution. A landmark ruling from Ontario, a judge by the name of Himmel, who decided that the laws are unconstitutional. Because how can the act of prostitution be legal in Canada, but certain other aspects of prostitution illegal? So it's okay to be a hooker in Canada, just don't solicit for any business. Now that makes a lot of sense. And already I'm being, if you've been watching me this long, you're getting my little idiosyncrasies. Yes, I'm being a jackass. It's interesting. This judge really stepped out on a limb, because if you know the way Canada is, if you don't step into line and conform to what I'm going to say it. Here's the people I'm going after today, because oh man, when I saw a quote in the paper about this woman who belongs to Real Women of Canada. And she basically said that the ruling does not align with Canadian standards, the moral right. So, in her feeling is that prostitution should be outlawed. There's no way we should be touching it. It should be completely illegal, because I'm sure she sleeps well at night, oblivious to the fact that there are 11 and 12-year-old girls out there walking the streets. That's right, 11 and 12, because the pimps, who are the real perpetrators here, who are the ones that make it dangerous, who are the ones that live off the sweat and toil of prostitutes in this country, are the ones that are out there, and they're basically recruiting young girls because they can control them, they can pump them up full of drugs, and they can keep them just like they're like slaves. Police forces across this nation don't have the resources to deal with it. And in fact, most police communities will tell you that prostitutes that are working inside in a safe environment are usually well off and don't deal with the dangers that those women walking the streets do. And here's the thing, you can make prostitution as illegal as you want. At the end of the day, it's not going away. It's the oldest profession in the world. When are you going to get this? So Real Women of Canada, their heads are buried in the sand. And they're not, I don't think they're interested in protecting the women that choose to, ply the trade of prostitute, because they're standing there in judgment. And morally, they think it's wrong. And as long as they don't condone it and they make sure the rest of Canada doesn't condone it, they somehow have a moral platform where they could say, what they're doing is wrong and there should be repercussions for it. It's a great segue for me. And the prostitution, I'm not really touching on it because I want to wait to see what happens. This judge that put himself out there, potentially, our government is getting enough lobbying from the right-wing extremist religious factions out there who think it's an affront to them. And if they put enough pressure on our government, I can see our government throwing out, what our judicial system is there to do, and overturning this ruling. And it's interesting enough that the rest of the world is watching. It was front page news on CNN yesterday. So people are going to really watch. We're moving into interesting times. Social change is upon us. the internet, I talked about it before, it's a big part of where we're going to be going. And I think that, these factions that are out there, these little pockets who seem to be able to scream really loud, your days are numbered. I really think that there's going to be a time where you're not going to be able to put pressure on. We're going to be able to get some change in this country. And when that happens, this is what I'm really excited about, is we're going to be able to put our money and resources into dealing with the real issues of poverty, of mental health, and just coming to, we're going to evolve as a society. A real concern for me, of course, is we're not dealing with these issues of poverty and mental health. In fact, our Canadian government was, they had 74 resolutions, and they turned every one of them down. And they all had to do different aspects of poverty and homelessness in this country. And we're not dealing with the big issue, which is mental health. Anyways, I want to stay on the topic of Real Women of Canada, because I went to their website, and it's realwomanca.com. Check it out, because it makes me think like we're back in the 1800s. Here's a group that's going after the CBC because they're not showing wholesome material on their network anymore. They think they should go away. And the woman that's blogging here talks about recalling the golden years of CBC when Wayne and Schuster, Don Messer's Jubilee. Like, I'm 46, I can vaguely remember this. She talks about Mr. Dress Up, The Friendly Giant, Front Page Challenge, integrity, and then goes on to talk about how CBC, now I don't necessarily agree that CBC does any great programming, but her whole take is that CBC is not morally sound anymore and they need to go away. That's just one aspect, but where I wanted to go with their website, because I think prostitution and that problem also ties into legalization of marijuana in this country, gun laws. And what I'm talking about, of course, is there's this faction of people out there that really believe that they need to decide what's best for you and me. I want to see legalization of marijuana. We're getting close. The Americans believe that it is inevitable. It's not, they think it's going to happen there. They know in the next 5 years, they're pretty sure there's going to be some landmark decisions where marijuana is going to become legal. Well, Real Women of Canada want to weigh in on this too. So, there's an article on there. You got to check it out. They're lobbying. They're really against the lobbying for the decriminalization of Canada's drug laws, and they're going to basically pressure our government to make sure that not only does it not happen, but the laws become tighter, and they just want to make sure that they're acting in your best interest, because obviously as adults we can't make sound decisions. So Real Women of Canada, I don't know how big your organization is. I'm probably going to do some more research on your site, but it's really scary that groups like you are still out there, because you're not dealing with reality anymore. If you want to do some good work, go out into the trenches. Look in those areas where there are people in dark alleys who you're probably thinking you're better than, who are dealing with serious mental health issues, and our government doesn't want to spend any money helping these people. Now, there would be a good start. I might have some respect for you, but on your current soapbox, all you're trying to do, I don't know, maybe you're looking to get passage into the great almighty upstairs by condemning the rest of the people on this earth and the way they live. Prostitution needs to be legalized because it's going to make people safe. It's going to make the whole industry safer, and it's going to get rid of the scumbag pimps that are out there and take them off the streets. Those are my thoughts for today. That's my egg. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.